Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff.
Hey guys, welcome back to Fandom Family Chats. I'm Maureen.
I'm Eve.
And I'm Amanda.
And we are back with another episode. Now, over the summer, before our hopes and dreams of new seasons returning in August got crushed and dashed, we got hooked on a few shows on some streaming platforms that we were trying to catch up with. And one of those was Fire Country. And we will be talking about that today. And it will air on CBS now that all of the strikes are over. So if you did not hear me, I'm going to say it again. All of the strikes are over. The writer's strike ended in a month ago or so, maybe 2 months ago. Writer's strike just ended last week, or actor strike just ended last week. So things are going to return. And I cannot flipping wait for all of our shows to come back. So that's exciting. But this you can catch up on Paramount Plus or Prime, Fire Country, because it will be airing again. So we'll be talking about that today, but we want to see what's coming up on our schedule as well. So we'll continue to bring you a One Tree Hill reaction review episode, my thoughts on it every other week. You just got that last week, so that'll be coming at you next week. We'll also be bringing you a review of Will Trent, which is another show that we got hooked on over the summer. And I didn't realize when I was watching it, I thought it was one like Fire Country that had been completed. It was not. It aired in the summer. So good news for that is that maybe it'll air the same. We'll get the same amount of episodes, sort of thing. But that will have a season 2 on ABC, but you can catch up on that on Hulu. We'll be bringing you an episode of Netflix, a review of Netflix shows. You're so not invited to my bat mitzvah with old dads. So those are the 2 movies we'll be talking about one time. And then we'll also be doing a review of Netflix holiday movies. And we'll be bringing you a lot more as the season progresses beyond that, but that'll be in the new year. This is what's coming at you for the rest of 2023. All right. So right now we're going to dig into Fire Country and get you prepared for its second season. So season 1, let's get right into the synopsis. Now, the synopsis says a young convict joins a firefighting program looking for redemption and a shortened prison sentence. He and other inmates work alongside elite firefighters to extinguish massive blazes across the region. So thoughts? Did you guys like it, not like it?
I love it.
I have to say, I didn't start watching it because of the synopsis. It was just because of Max. And like,
really?
Yeah.
What do you know him from, Eve?
The pacifier.
Oh, I forgot he was in that.
He was a baby.
That's probably, he looks very different in this show.
He does not look like the same person. I'm like, I'm gonna believe whatever IMDb says because they've never steered me wrong before, but I'm having a hard time believing it.
Okay. So he does play the main character. He plays Bodie Donovan. I have to say, and I'm trying to like frame my words in the right way, because this is a show that we all love. His acting is not great.
So
he got better as the season went on, but his acting is not great.
I feel like there's several characters in this show that I can say the same thing about, but I feel like it's a good enough storyline for me to have patience because they are getting better. It is getting better as it's going on, but I definitely see where you're coming from. It's not just him. There's a few of them that
for sure.
I think they just needed to get in the swing of things and get comfortable with each other.
I couldn't put my finger on it, but there was always something about that show. I mean, I like it. I really, really like it.
Yeah.
But there was always something about it where I was like, I feel like I should like it more than I am because, it's a first responder type show. And
that's right up our alley.
I mean, that's like 90% of the shows that I watch. So, I mean, I have to like it, but I was like, what is it about the show that just isn't catching me as like, Chicago or Grey's or Station 19 or like any of that. But now that you say that, maybe that's it.
I think so.
Probably. It was one of those shows where I would forget that a new episode came on.
Mm-hmm.
Which if it's like any of like my regular favorite shows, like I know Thursday nights is Grey's Anatomy. Like there's no, you don't plan anything Thursday nights. Like that is, I am home. But with Fire Country, I'd be like, oh, I don't think I watched last week. And I'd go back and I was like 2 weeks behind.
Yep.
But I really enjoyed the episodes when I watched them.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited for season 2.
Yeah. And I think it works out in our favor because we're bingers. So
Yeah.
not being caught up on a couple episodes. I hate waiting between weeks. So I almost would have rather just banged it out all at once because there's 23 episodes, I think, season 1?
22.
22, close.
Yeah.
And I think the reason his acting stands out so much is because he is the main character. Max Thoreau plays Bodie Donovan, who is the main character. And his mom is Sharon Leone, who's played by Diane Farr, who, I mean, she's fantastic. I have zero problems with her. I think she's my favorite. Well, her and Vince Leone, who's played by Billy Burke. Billy Burke is like one of my favorite actors. I love that man. He can do no wrong in my eyes.
That's actually why I started watching this show. Was because Billy Burke was on here. I didn't really know anything about Max prior to this. I knew once I started watching it, I started looking into it and I was like, oh, he is the kid from the pacifier and stuff. Like I found that out later on. But I initially started watching it because I saw like some commercial and I saw Billy Burke in it and I was like, okay, he's never let me down before.
He is the best thing about the Twilight series.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Well, yeah.
No, he is the best thing about the Twilight show.
Yeah.
Movie.
I know. Hey, it's a touchy subject for me.
I know. But we have those two. And it was weird because we were also watching The Night Agent at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
And the character in The Night Agent's name is Diane Farr. It's the character's name, which is the real name of the woman who plays Sharon Leone. I was like, what is that?
Oh, that is.
I never knew that.
She got asked about it by a couple different journalists because she was like, no, it's not based off of me. I don't know why it's like this. I don't know why they gave her that name.
That's funny.
She's awesome. There's also Manny Perez, who's played by Kevin Alejandro.
Oh, I love him.
I thought he was a little stiff at first. He was one of the ones who started off stiff, but as it progressed, he was a really good actor by the end, I thought. And I think maybe it was just getting acclimated with the cast, maybe that made him a little stiff because his acting is much different, even by episode 2 or 3 than the first episode.
Yeah, no, he definitely gets a lot more comfortable as a lot earlier on than others like Eve. Sorry, Eve, not you.
I was like, well, that's insulting.
Like Eve and Jake to me seemed very like far.
You know, for the record, I am a terrible actress. So
no offense taken.
I really wanted to like her because that's like I feel like that's the kind of, you know, characters I like on firefighter shows, you know, people like Sharon, or if we're looking at you know, Chicago, Stella. But with Eve, I'm like, I feel like they played her up to be like that, and then it was like a
yeah, it kind of fell flat. I think she has potential. I really do. I love the actress, but
and her role within the company I enjoyed.
Yeah,
I liked her position in the company. It was, but I think maybe what I'm hoping is that in season 2 the acting will be much different. I mean, they've had a year off, something like that. So
it's
I'm hoping it'll be better.
By the time.
And then there's also
if they're filming yet or not.
Oh, I doubt it. I think the strike just ended last week, so I'm hoping that there's some things written. This is my hope. Some people were saying maybe shows will start filming by December, but that's only if they have quite a bit written since the writer's strike ended. But I think that's being generous. I don't think we'll get shows until January or February. So
I wouldn't be surprised if nothing came back out until January. But
and I mean, we want a great product, so I think we're okay as long as we know it's coming. I think we're okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, we've waited all this time. The only thing that I saw that upset me was the news about Grey's Anatomy. It's a podcast. I have to bring it up. That they're saying we might only get 10 episodes this season. Total.
I think that's going to be a lot of the shows. There's only a half of the season. I bet most of the shows will have no more than 14.
It's going to kill me though. I mean, Grey's Anatomy season 1 was only 9 episodes.
Maybe it'll be the final season. Maybe the season 20 will be the final and it will match the first. I mean, it would make sense.
Last season was like the best that it's like been.
I know.
Forever. So I'd have a hard time believing that season 20 is the last one.
No, it's gonna keep going. I don't think season 20 will be the last. But anyways, Fire Country. Sorry.
There's also Gabriela Perez, who plays Manny's daughter. She's played by Stephanie. Sheila?
No, I hate her.
You see, now I started liking her. And it's not even the acting, it's the character. I do not like the character by the end at all.
I don't like her at all. I guess there's not. Actually, I guess it's not that I hate her. I guess she's boring.
Jeanette doesn't like her either.
I find her so boring, and I'm like, why is she here?
See, I like her.
And why is everyone in love with her?
Out. I like her.
I did at first, but at first
still
she was a
do.
solid character. What I didn't like about her by the end is she was so back and forth and back and forth and back. Like, dude, this is really annoying now.
Well, I get it. I mean, I feel like anybody should think 3 or 4 times before they get into a serious relationship with a prisoner. I mean, I would be hesitant, even if it was Max.
I get that it's, it's a relationship with a convict, but she pursued it almost more than he did.
Well, she did.
And then she was like, wait, no. Wait, yes. Wait, no. Wait,
hesitant.
Yes. She's neurotic.
I have hope. I like her, and I'm sticking with it. Until she does something bad, then I have to go back on my word. I like her.
I think the actress did a good job playing the role. I just think the character was too wishy-washy, uncertain of what she wanted. It just, I mean, if you're going to go after someone, be certain you want that person, because that's mean to the guy you're with. It's mean to the guy you're trying to be with. And it's certainly mean to the company that you're trying to get into where both guys work.
I mean, I get it, but I don't know. I like her. I'm going to stand my ground. Okay. I'm not changing my mind.
Maybe we'll change our minds next season. Maybe we will join Team Amanda.
I think you guys will. I think
maybe we'll jump on ship as soon as, season 2 starts.
You should.
And then there's also Jake Crawford, who was in a relationship with Gabrielle at the beginning, who was friends with Bodhi when they were young, who did his sister dirty in more ways than one. And I don't know how I feel about Jake. I think at first I really hated him. He was a character who was like, oh my gosh, you suck so bad. You suck.
I didn't like him.
You're an awful, terrible person. By the end, I was like, okay, you got some merit. Still don't know I like you, but you have some merit.
I did not like him at all at the beginning, just because he was so dead set on punishing Bodhi.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, how many years later? And by the way, who did who wrong here?
Mm-hmm.
Being serious. But then once the two of them agreed, hey, let's cut this out and just, move forward, which essentially is what that conversation was. It was very not TV show like. But anyway, once they agreed to just, move on, then I started to like him. I'm not fully there yet, but I don't know, maybe season 2 I'll like him more.
I think he's improved steadily because I think I'm with you, Eve. I think the biggest problem I had with him in the beginning is he was so self-righteous, and he didn't have it the way he was with Bodhi's family. He didn't have any right to be that way.
I know
at all. I could not believe the way he treated him, and Bodhi didn't really do anything wrong to him at all. Bodhi ruined his own life and his sisters and his family.
And he's taking accountability for that. I mean,
exactly.
And I waited the whole season to figure out what it is that Bodhi did to wrong Jake. Because I was like, surely they're going to do some kind of flashback or, dig into that a little bit more. But no, he's just
he's just a butthead.
Yeah, he is. He just has a grudge.
Exactly.
And that's all. I mean, he got better as the season went on, but I was the same at the beginning. I was like, I hope he doesn't stick around. Like, I don't want this guy to continue to be in the show.
Mm-hmm. He was awful.
It was annoying and boring. I was like, move the heck on.
Yes.
Yeah. There was.
And then we did mention Eve a little bit. I liked her character. We already talked about that. So the other person in the house is Freddie Mills, who's another prisoner.
Oh,
I loved Freddie. I loved Freddie.
Oh, Freddie. I love him.
He really did. He was played by, who was he played by?
W. Trey Davis. Was he was he Bodhi's cellmate in prison? Or did they just happen to be on the same line in the fire department together?
I don't remember. I
don't think he was. I think they
think
just
they
met
just-
on that line.
Okay.
I think they just met at camp and they hit it off.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because there's that bad dude who was Bodhi's cellmate, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there
So-
was a story. Nah, it's been
Yes.
a couple months since I've seen this, but
I had to refresh my memory a lot.
that guy I 100% hated, but I guess we'll come back
Oh.
to that later.
And I
Yeah.
couldn't remember which one he was or what his character's name is, so I didn't include him on the list. So this list that we have of characters is just the main characters because there's like
Yeah.
1,000 characters in the show. And if we were going to go through all of them, this would be like a 3-hour long podcast.
yeah.
So the last main character we're going to name is Luke Leone, who's played by Michael Trucco, who I have since learned in my One Tree Hill watches that this is apparently Hot Uncle Cooper.
Hot Uncle
Cooper. You should have already gotten a Hot Uncle Cooper.
Wait,
did.
is that? Yeah,
You did. You've met
He
him
was
on One
season
Tree Hill,
2.
right?
He was.
I couldn't remember if what season he came on 2 or 3.
Or was he season 3? He might.
he's
Either
season
way, I'm
3.
in season 3.
No, he came in season 3 because that's when.
It's whatever season Haley was gone for.
Wasn't? Oh, she left at the end of season 2.
So it would have been season 3 when we meet Cooper.
It would have been 3 because I think that's when. Yeah, because I'm on 4 now and he's still recovering from his and that was happening in 3.
Who is Nathan?
Yeah.
I'm still in season 3. He's all recovered. I haven't hit season 4 yet.
Oh wait, no, never mind.
But this is
I was thinking of something else that happens.
Michael Trucco plays Hot Uncle Cooper on One Tree Hill, and also Uncle Luke on Firecatch. So he just likes the hot uncle role, I think.
Well, he plays it so well.
The man doesn't age.
No,
He still looks the same.
the exact same.
This
And
man
when
is
he's on One Tree-
53 years old. 53
Shut
years
up.
old.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
53. That's not what 53 looks like. I'm sorry.
I mean, I think Billy Burke is a good-looking guy for his age, but I think Michael Trucco is a good-looking guy, just period,
Yes.
because
And
he
you know,
looks the same.
we did just talk about him too, because he was also in the fall of the House of Usher.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. I was editing it. That's how I. Yep. Okay.
He's in so much stuff, and every single time he pops up, I'm like, "Hey, Hot Uncle Cooper!"
Cooper. He will forever
Man.
be that man.
I have to look up his name all the time.
You did in
Trucco.
the- You
it
did in the House
doesn't-
of Usher podcast.
yeah, I don't know his real name unless I look it up, and then I'll remember for a bit.
It's just Hot Uncle Cooper. That's his name.
It's Hot Uncle Cooper. That's all there is.
I wasn't and still am not sure about Luke.
I mean, he didn't play a great character.
He there were times where at first I was like, this is kind of he's kind of sketchy. I don't know if I
Mhm.
like this. And then I would say, okay, well maybe his intentions are okay. They're like, no, never mind. This doesn't feel right again. So I don't know. I still am not sure how I feel about him. I'm leaning more towards, sketchy, something's not right.
I think he wants to be good,
I don't know.
but I think he
he's
just
fine.
gets frustrated. So he's like, you know what? Screw it.
I think
and
he
then
just
he
makes
feels
dumb
remorse.
decisions.
Yes. I'd agree with that.
I mean, I wouldn't trust him with my heart, but
Or my spouse.
or my spouse. Oh yeah, apparently.
I mean, I might trust him with my spouse because mine's a guy and I don't think he goes that way.
Depends if you like pineapples or not.
I'm sorry, what?
Thanks,
Pineapples.
Amanda. That was nice.
Thank you. It's a reference to swingers.
Okay. So let's get into some of the plot points of the show. Now, the first one was why Bodhi was in jail and the family fallout from that. That was almost like the entire episode was just
Yeah.
Bodhi trying to hide what he did, finding out what Bodhi did. I didn't mean episode, I meant season.
It's season.
And then how, of course, we find out he killed his sister in a car accident. Not fully his fault either. I mean, was he? I don't remember. Was he drinking or high at the time? I don't think he was. I think he was.
I think he was. I think she had been, and she was trying to get out of the car.
Yes. And he
And
went to
that-
grab her, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't even fully his fault that this happened, but he
No.
blamed himself. And his dad was awful to him in it, and Luke was kind in it. So that's
Yeah.
that alone. You got to like Uncle Luke.
Yeah. I mean, it's also how you gonna know how you're gonna react when something like that happens?
Especially
I
because
also
Bodhi
can't
did
even
have a drug
blame
problem.
Vince. And yeah, he did. He had a history.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's your own child,
Yeah, it's still your child. One of your children is dead now because of
one's
another
dead.
one of
It
your
doesn't
children.
mean I don't think he ever did not love Bodhi,
No, he
but
was just
he was
angry.
mad. He was mad, and he had a right to be mad.
Mhm.
I think it went on a little too long.
And I think he said some, and the thing is though, we can recognize he said some awful things that should have never been
Yes.
said, but we can at
Yes.
the same time also recognize that he wasn't in his right mind, so he almost doesn't have fault for what he said, because he did grieve that he said those things to Bodhi. He hated that he said those things to Bodhi. Sharon hated that he said those things to Bodhi. He felt awful about it.
Yeah.
So should they have been said to him? No. Is it really his fault that they were said? Also, no.
No, it was. I was never like mad at him for
Mm-mm.
it. I was like, oh, that was kind of you shouldn't have done that. Like
Yeah.
that was a little
Just recognizing it.
yeah.
It was a
But-
crummy situation. I mean, there really wasn't any right way for anyone to react in that situation.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really be angry at anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And especially if it's in the guise of, we have one son who's in and out of juvie, in and out of trouble. He's a drug addict. He struggles with all this stuff. And we have this girl who's seemingly perfect, has never done anything wrong, has plans. Our son has no plans, and he's the one who killed her. When it's in that frame of mind, I mean, it's awful.
Understand.
But on the other side, it's also what made Bodhi come out of that.
And it's easier to be mad at the person who's still there.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh
and
yeah. You can't blame the person who died.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. I mean, you could, but that would be awful. And in the midst of all this, in the midst of all this, the other plot point is Sharon is sick. And again, her and Bodhi have something in common because they're hiding things throughout the whole season, only to have it come out in weird ways and all these. When she finally admits it, that's when Luke comes into town. So that's another plot point that I feel like there's a lot of plot points that carried throughout the season. Like, I don't feel like any one of them was fully wrapped up, but I feel like there was a bunch of them.
That was like one of my, we'll get
Complaints.
to, I guess, our complaints.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But yeah, just the open-endedness of so many stories. I'm like, what happens if this does not get renewed? That's all my mind kept thinking. I was like, this is going to be, Eve, what was that show? The Wilds?
Yeah. Oh God, I'm so mad at you for that one.
I'm mad at me.
I want to watch it just because I've heard you guys talk about it so much.
I started binging that, and then you texted us and said, "Oh shoot, it's not being renewed." I was now I have to finish it.
There was 2 seasons. It's not like there was just one season. There was already 2. So I was like, okay, there's already 2. Like
honestly,
where they left off, I was like
so PO'd.
Honestly, I'm telling you, especially right now with the writer's strike being done and everyone's looking for work, everyone wants work, everyone wants to jump back in. Start a petition and get all that fan base behind it and get everything you can. That's how Sanditon was renewed. It was canceled and it was 2 years before it came back on.
Should we do it?
Yes, you should. If it's that good of a show, and you and
Really
Jeanette have
is.
weird, uncanny instincts for TV shows. I don't know how you guys do this, but it's like I have this friend who always goes to the Goodwill with the bins, and she'll resell them. She always finds like name brand, perfect condition things. I find like needles and rough edged things. Like, how are you doing this? That's you and Jeanette. I don't know how you do it, but you have like this uncanny way to pick out shows that are good and that have a massive fan base. So I think if you say it's good, I think you should start a petition for it.
It really is. I mean, I could also fight for Firefly, but I think that's just way too gone. And that was fought for.
Oh, was it?
That is one of the biggest. If
Were there
anybody says
several petitions that went around about that one.
oh yeah, yes, for years. That was, and it's not one of the type of shows that I love, but it was really good.
Start a social media campaign for it and then start getting some petitions out. For real.
Let's do it.
All right, let's jump back into this. And then there's also our favorite, and I think we're all united on Freddie is kind of our favorite character. Yeah. Well, one of our favorites.
He's definitely one of mine. Yeah.
He's the only one that I, without a doubt, Sharon, but
yes, and Vince.
Sharon I absolutely love. Freddie, I love. I don't know if I love anybody else.
No, I like other characters, but those are the 3 that I love. And Freddie was so cute with his baby mama drama.
Oh my gosh. I loved that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
mean,
if that,
like, it
as
kind
if
of
that
happened at
wasn't
a wrong
drama
time, but-
enough with being pregnant, your girlfriend pregnant on the outside, then you got to have like she's going to surprise you on your day out. But wait, there's going to be a mudslide and her and her baby might be dead. Like, why does poor Freddie need that?
I
I
do
was watching-
love the storylines.
I was watching the show. I said, "You're not giving me that many characters I like, and the one I do like, you're covering his girlfriend in a mudslide. Like, what's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Sharon's on the verge of death. Vince is about to lose another family member. Freddie's girlfriend and baby might be dead. Like, why are you doing this?
This is mean.
Who hurt you?
Yes, who hurt you? I wish I could call up the person who is the creator of the show, but I don't know what his name is. And even during that, was it a mudslide? That's what it was, right? It was an extreme
Yeah.
mudslide. Even in that, they're like, Freddie, get out of there. No thanks. I think I'm gonna stay.
Yeah. Like, who would leave your significant other and your unborn child and be like, oh, yeah, that looks bad. Peace.
I could never be a first responder. There's no way I could take my emotions out of this stuff. No way.
I'd be the worst.
Yes, it's like that scene on the bridge when was it not Max Bodie? He went over the bridge, right? And then Vince and Sharon were like, "We're gonna lose another one," and they were so. I would be an awful. People would die all the time because I wouldn't be able to separate my emotions from what my job is.
I would be terrible at that job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I
I
would be.
one time thought about being a 911 operator, and I was
No,
like,
thank you. Nope.
oh man, I don't know if I could like mentally,
No, I would stop
handle it.
sleeping.
like, I don't know. Yeah, I would be up all hours.
Yes, and
So-
the other one that was really stressful that also involved Freddie was the drug ring with that new prisoner. Like, oh my god.
Someone has it out for Freddie, and I need to know why.
Yes. What
What
has he done to you?
What is Freddie's backstory? Do we have it yet? Did I forget it?
He's a prisoner who has a girlfriend that's pregnant. Does that help you?
But,
And
like,
he's
what is he in
crippled?
for?
Something minor. I think it was like a carjacking or something. It was something relatively small, but I
It
think
was
he did it with a
theft.
partner, and he took on all of it.
It was
Okay.
theft or some kind of theft, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like hardcore. I don't think.
Oh.
This drug ring storyline, like obviously it's a first responder show. It's California wildfires, which are terrifying, and just in general, is to watch a show about is also scary. But this was I mean, the other stories don't really freak me out because first responders usually they're gonna get it taken care of. The drug ring one was the one that
Yeah.
truly stressed me out.
Yeah.
I don't like this guy. I need him to go away. I need him to be gone. And the way
Yeah.
Bodie was handling, like, dude, just tell
stupidly.
somebody.
Like, if you had just been like, hey, this is what this guy's doing. This did not come from me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I still could have put a target on his back, but at the same time, look at the position he's in now.
But I mean, can things really get any worse though by telling a grown up? Like,
I need an adult.
Something like I feel like by this time he should, like, I feel like trust Manny a little bit more than
Exactly.
he is. I mean, maybe that's just him not trusting easily, which I understand, being, in prison for so
And-
long.
but then at the same time, I feel like Manny has over and over and over again, like, kind of earned Bodhi's respect.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it was
has.
just so weird to me that he didn't just say, okay, Manny, look, there's this drug thing going on. I don't want to get in trouble. My parole's coming up. Please help me. Like, Manny
Mhm.
would have done something. Like, why
Yes.
did Bodhi not think to go to him?
I think he actually said that he didn't go to him because he didn't want to put a target on Manny's back, or maybe Manny wouldn't believe him or something like that. But he was a prisoner too. It's why he runs this program.
Yeah.
I feel like Manny would be able to figure something out.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And the other reason too is because going into one of our other storylines, the other reason was because something was up with Manny, remember? And he went down a gambling rabbit hole,
Oh yeah.
lost everything.
Yeah.
So was it around that
That's
time
it.
when the drug ring was going on and Manny was like starting to yes, it was, because I remember one of the times that he was trying to trick this guy, him and Freddie and Bodie. Ship
That's
name,
their name
Brady.
from now on.
So when
You
Brady
know
were
that.
trying to trick the drug guy, Manny exploded on them because he was so stressed out because of his financial status.
Yeah.
And didn't he lose his home too in the midst of all this? And Gabrielle was like, I can help you. Oh, really? With your fire trainer fund that you have? You're making what, $5 an hour being trained to be a firefighter? You're not full-fledged yet.
I
That
know.
confused me so much when like she gave him money to help him out. I was like, well, that's sweet, but also where is that money from?
I mean, she did have a career before.
She was an Olympian, but right, that's what she did.
That's
That's
some money.
But I mean, you have to win pretty high to win money. And a lot of her money, that's why he went broke in the first place, was because a lot of his money was going towards the training facilities and all of her stuff to get her to the Olympics. And didn't she finish like not second or third? She finished like 20th or something like that? Or did she finish second or
I do
third?
not remember that.
I don't remember where she finished.
Because it was a big deal that she even placed because they're from this tiny little town. So she was like,
Yeah.
the first time we see her, they're welcoming her back with all these signs. But I thought she didn't medal, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was second. I think because it's second or third or 23rd. I don't know which one it is. It's one of those three options. There's a 2 and possibly a 3. I don't know. Clearly it's a storyline I was really, really interested in and focused hyper on.
Well,
they said in the very
Gabriella,
beginning.
so.
That's right. It was Gabriella. And it was the first episode. Thank you.
Okay. So this whole Gabby, Jake, Bodie love triangle thing that was happening at the beginning.
Thumbs down.
I, first of all, didn't like Jake and Gabby together at all. I thought it was
Weird.
an odd pairing. They didn't vibe well together. They just didn't seem like a couple or had ever been a couple to me. I didn't like it. I think that Bodie and Gabby look wonderful together, but I also ship them and not everybody ships them. So sorry, but
Well, I agree that Gabby is better with Bodhi. I feel like that's a better pairing. That doesn't mean I like her, but she's definitely better with Bodhi because her and Jake, I don't know, it didn't make sense. It was weird. And I keep forgetting, like as I was watching, I would keep forgetting, oh yeah, they were together at the very beginning of this season.
And I think it's because, honestly, throughout this entire first season, Jake is trying to be something that he's not yet. Something he's trying to be what he wants to be, but he's not there yet. Like he wants to get high in Vince and Sharon's graces because, well, they're like parents to me. They're like my family and I have to be just as good as them. And I'm held to a higher standard than anyone else. So then he also, almost because of that, he's almost like fatherly in his responses to Gabrielle. It's like, that feels gross.
weird. Yeah.
I don't like it. But I also didn't like, as we talked about earlier, I also didn't like that Gabriella was like, hey, Bodhi, no, I'm with Jake. But hey, Bodhi, no, Jake, I'm with you. And then when Bodhi's trying to be responsible, saying, listen, I can't have a relationship. She's like, I don't care. I love you, but I don't want you. But I do love you, but I still don't want you.
Like, girl, go be indecisive all by yourself.
Yes.
Leave this man alone.
Exactly, because all through this, she was still with Jake. Like, dude, can you make a decision to say, you made the decision to go from Olympian diver to firefighter, but you can't make a decision of which boy you would like to date? That seems like a smaller decision in comparison.
A way harder decision, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's also Bodhi and the lawyer, who I actually like him better with the lawyer. I like that lawyer.
I'm a huge Gabby and Bodhi fan, but I really did like the lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked her a lot.
I think that was the one storyline that made me cry.
That it was.
Like, I cried.
That was. I don't know if I cried, but I definitely got emotional during it because I was like, I didn't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
It was very unexpected to me. It like blindsided me. When stuff blindsides me like that, I do get emotional because I'm like, wait, I didn't have time to process anything in my head first.
And it helped that was a storyline that actually showed a different side of Max Thoreau's acting abilities.
Yes.
Because I felt his pain during that part. Like that was awful to watch him feel that. It was awful. And then
Yeah.
all the things he was saying as he's carrying her down the hill, he's like, no, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Knowing she's going to die. Like, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah.
so awful. This is so sad.
I was just hoping. I was like, some kind of miracle.
Did you not think that was going to happen the whole time? Like, she's going to be fine. She's fine.
I did. I
did Google it.
I didn't Google it. I just like suffered.
Yeah, it did not occur to me that she was like about to die. I was like, no, she's gonna be fine. Like they're not gonna kill her off. Like
No, I was like, no, she's like mid storyline with this whole Freddy thing. Like she's like, they're not gonna kill her off. It's okay.
again, who hurt these writers?
Hey, you know what? It's good writing. It's good writing. I give them a
Wonder if Freddy is based on someone who hurt them in their past. Like, is this just like a childhood bully of yours that you put in here so you can do all the bad things to him that you wished you did to this bully? Is this what's happening right now?
That was Freddy.
Apparently.
Like, oh, that Freddy that bullied me in high school. I'm looking back at him.
I think that because all of our fire and rescue shows, we see the rescues. We expect to see people die, right? But we don't expect, it's like on Chicago when they killed Otis. Not happy. Like you don't expect your people to die. And in that, I think I was so stressed out because Bodhi's emotion was hitting me so hard. And I loved this woman. Rebecca was her name, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I loved her so much that I actually had to pause and be like, all right, what happens? Does she die? Because it's not quite to like Al level on Chicago, but like I was getting stressed out. I was like, I don't want to feel this way while I'm watching the rest of it. I just need to know. Because they carried it out over what, 3 episodes, something like that.
2?
I think it was just 2.
It was 2 at least.
And I don't like waiting for that information. I need to know if I'm going to be devastated or not.
See, Fire Country, I told you like I binged a lot of it because I'd binge like 2 or 3 episodes at a time. So that was one I just went straight into. I didn't have to wait or anything.
Yeah. And we touched on this plot point just a little bit, Uncle Luke, Sharon, and Vince. That now remind me, like Luke just tried to kiss her, right? Or did they actually have an affair? They didn't have an affair, did they? It was Luke.
No.
Luke hit on her, right?
They didn't have an affair. I think Luke just had feelings for her.
Yeah. That's what I
Didn't he try to kiss her in their living room?
Uh-huh.
And then she was like, get out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm remembering that right because
I
feel like I'm getting looked at like I'm insane. So no,
I'm trying to remember too. I'm like going through my head. I'm trying to remember, but yes,
Vince justifiably. I mean, he's on the heels of his son returning and all this upheaval and his wife being sick. That now he's gonna do with it. So this was one where I was like, yeah, Cooper, you kind of deserve what's coming to you.
Yeah,
it was. You don't mess with Vince and Sharon.
No, that was. I actually like Luke. I like his character.
Mm-hmm. Just like you said, bad decisions.
He just messed up there. He made a wrong decision, for sure. But I don't know. I've already forgiven him.
And the other thing too is, how do you not fall in love with Sharon? Like I
know
how
exactly. He was vulnerable,
and it stem from the fact that he found out she was sick, so he contacted their direct headquarters or something like that, and they put her on restrictions. And then she was mad and he was trying to tell her that. And then it came out that I love you and tried to kiss her or something like, isn't that how that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So it was like word vomit. He wasn't trying to make a pass at her. It just came out when he was trying to defend himself.
Yeah. Like I said, I like forgave him super fast. I
Yes.
don't really think I was even that mad at him.
No. I think
I was
Vince
just like,
did too.
hey, that's not nice.
And honestly, Sharon did too. She was just like, we're not telling Vince.
How long did that last?
Well, I think Luke told Vince.
Was it Luke that told him?
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Sharon
his reaction clearly in my head.
Because Vince came home to Sharon and she was like, oh, I wasn't going to tell you. And then she
more mad about that. Like,
yeah. Okay, so remind me, when we ended the show, speaking of Sharon and her sickness, did we end the show where Bodhi was his high school girlfriend was trying to get back with him and he was trying to be with her? Is that where we ended it? Or do we end with him and Gabriella? Gabby's Chicago. Do you remember that storyline?
I'm trying to
remember how it.
I forgot she existed until like a second ago.
It ends at the very end with him going back to the prison.
Oh, that's right. He got booted at the very end, didn't he?
Yeah, because of the whole drug thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because his drug test came back
You
positive.
dumb dummy. Not
Yeah.
you, him.
Why? I hope you would be calling me a dummy.
Just wanted to be very clear about that.
I'm like, yeah.
So I don't think him and Gabriella are together at the end, right? Because I think they decided we had to be separate, and then his old high school girlfriend came into the picture.
I just remembered when you mentioned it that she existed.
Yeah,
I did too. I don't even. No, I'm
Don't
trying to place her face.
I can't remember her face, but I remember now that happened. But I can't remember where things ended as far as like who Bodhi is with or not with or what.
because we meet her, I think, right after Vince finds out about what Luke did, and Sharon is having an episode at home when the power goes out. And then this girl has an episode while Sharon's having an episode, and Sharon's trying to save both of them. Like, dude, this is drama.
Oh wait, I remember her now. Yeah,
I cannot place her face though.
she's blonde.
That's all I can tell you. She's blonde. That's it.
She's a cute little blonde.
And she's very. I like her though. Her character seems very sweet.
Kara, I think her name is Kara.
Oh, ooh, that sounds familiar.
Kara is the one he was dating, and he got his baseball injury.
Yeah, that's the one we're talking about.
Yeah, that's her.
That's her.
Sorry,
Wow,
I'm trying to read through and.
Well, that hurt my brain.
Yeah, I'm trying to listen to you guys and also read and figure out who it is.
Yes, that's who. That's who. She's in 5. Yeah, she's in 5 episodes. So I think she was in the last 5. And so I think Bodhi is. I don't think he's with anybody at the end, but I think that she's the one who he's kind of trying to work with.
I think he was kind of with Gabby at the end because she went and like kissed him. I
Yeah,
remember
but
it
Gabby
being
did that a
all
lot.
dark.
In like a supply room of the fire camp, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think she did that to him a couple times. So she's like, "We can't be together. Let's find a place to be together." That was kind of her MO. And at the end, that's right. She gets mad at him for admitting he took the blame so that Freddie could get out. And he took the blame so that he thought he was saving everyone at the camp by taking the blame for this drug lord, because this drug lord had so much power, he was going to hurt everybody he loved. So Gabriella was mad. Do they call her Gabby on the show? Or am I superimposing Gabby from Chicago on her?
I don't think they call her Gabby.
Yeah, no, I think it's I think I call her Gabriella every time.
Do they?
I think so. I think I just have Gabby in my head from Chicago Fire.
Well,
who's also
in this
another.
thread,
I don't like her
they
either.
call her Gabby too, so at least I'm not the only one.
But I think she gets mad at him at the end for taking this blame, and they think even this is what ticked me off is that his parents believe him when he says he did it all. He was responsible. Like, can you not? You haven't seen how he's changed in this entire time that you're going to believe he did this, and that was something that upset me.
Like 10 steps forward, 500 back. Like,
yes. And the last plot point we're going to really talk about before we get into like how we feel about the show is Eve and her girl, right? Eve is finally happy with this girl. And then I'm not laughing because it's funny. These writers, I mean, man, the moment Eve says with her mouth, "I'm happy," her girlfriend is in this like building collapse and cement is on her. Like, why is no one allowed to be happy? Like, why?
This town is cursed, man.
So bad. Which brings us to There's a Disaster in episode. Sometimes a new one. This is something I do appreciate, right? They don't drag out their disaster super long.
I do like that. That's why I was saying at the beginning, like one of my favorite things about this show is the storylines when it comes to like the disasters.
Yes, I like the disasters. That sounded weird.
The action.
Yes, I like the action.
Yes.
I don't like
The
disasters. I
Yeah, I know. I don't know how to.
I like when
phrase
people
that
die.
correctly.
That was a joke. That was a joke. I don't like when people die. That's not what I'm saying. Oh
I usually
boy.
cry when that happens.
Why do you guys let me have free reign with my mouth?
we don't let you do anything. Like,
That's true.
It's all you.
I mean,
You
we're in
do.
different states. What are you gonna do? Bad Marine. No.
No, Marie.
no,
please
no.
Stop. Don't.
So this show was renewed in January of 2023 for a season 2. Of course, it stopped filming in May, didn't it? New episodes stopped coming out in May, right?
I think so.
May-ish.
Right before the summer.
So I think this should be, I'm assuming that they probably had some writing time in towards the end. This is my hope for a lot of our shows, that they got a lot of writing time in even before it ended for the next season. And then through the summer before the strike began, they got a lot of writing in. So I'm hoping they can start recording. I'm hoping they can start filming in December. So that was renewed. It will be on CBS. Right now, you can stream it on Paramount Plus and Prime. I don't know. I'm assuming you'll have to rent it on Prime. I don't think it's free on Prime. I watched on a friend's account, Paramount Plus account. So I don't know what it would cost to stream on Prime, but those are the two places you can currently watch it to get caught up. So let's we're about to finish this out. Let's go over likes. What do you like about the show? What are your favorite things about the show?
Eve, you go first.
I like the basis of the show.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of the right word.
The meat of the show, like what happened, what they go
I
through.
like the general, like the overall plot line of the show, because we watch a lot of first responder shows, but never have any of them had anything to do with someone coming out of prison and it's a fire camp. So that part was
It's just something new.
Yeah, so it was something new.
Different concept.
It's a nice fresh spin on, all the other first responder shows that are out there, because how many more can other networks put out where people are just like, nope, we've already got 911 and Station 19. But this one was like, Fire Country is a bit different in that.
Yeah,
it is.
And a lot of our other fire shows that we watch, it's not just fire shows. We watch a lot of first responder shows like 911 and stuff like that. But it's all like urban areas. This is more rural. It's more, like the wildfires are more prevalent. They have a camp in the middle, which seems a little insane to have a prison camp in the middle of woods and they're fighting fires.
Well, because they need to be close to the fire.
It's true. They need to be close to the action. That is a good point. It just seems like an easy way to die, which it is. That's why they get a short prison sentence, because you can die very easily.
They're risking their lives.
Like, you get a shorter prison sentence because you're going to go live where the fire.
Exactly. There was also that one guy who it was his day to get out and the fire truck landed on him. That was so sad. That was another one that made me feel
I was
bad.
panicking.
I was really upset with that one.
That was very upsetting. I was like, can we just let this man be free?
Why is it only the prisoners that are trying to redeem themselves who are getting hurt here?
Right?
Yeah, why can't we hurt the drug dealer?
Yes.
Please.
And it also sounded like I was saying hurt the people who aren't in prison but are firefighters, but that's also not what I was saying. So I agree with Eve. I like the new concept. I like that it's something different but familiar at the same time. I like that. What about you, Amanda?
Like I said earlier, I love that we usually wrap up each disaster every episode. That I like that in any shows we watch. I don't like it being drug out. I will always complain on a podcast if you drag something out too long, because my attention doesn't stay that long.
I don't watch 911 Lone Star, but I'm getting flashbacks to listening to you guys talk about the Winter Storm episodes of that.
4
I almost quit watching the show because of that.
It was 4?
It was 4 episodes
Of the same thing.
And after the second one, I said, surely this has to be it. Nope, there's going to be one more. And then after that, I said, another one.
Like,
let me tell you, it was really fun to not watch the show and also edit that week after week. Like, dude, are we still talking about this? Why?
Trust me, we're still complaining about it.
So, is there anything else that you liked about it?
I love the actors. I don't love all the actors. I misspoke. I love that Billy Burke's in it. I love Diane Farr. I like Max, the way he looks. It's very nice. That's a big plus. I think those are my likes. Those are that wraps it up. Like my likes so far. I might have more likes season 2, but
I agree with that.
It's a good start.
And I think it's also rare for a show where I'm watching it and I'm very irritated with how poor the acting is, but I'm still invested in the characters. Yeah. It's rare that happens together for me. But I'm invested in these characters, even if the acting isn't as good as I would like it to be. I felt like there was enough improvement throughout the season that I'm going to watch the second season. I'll tune in again. And I think that they did a really good job from a writing standpoint of wanting us to want these characters to have happy endings or bad endings. Like the people you hate, you really hate. And the people you like, you really like. Like if Sharon dies, I'm gonna riot. No, if Freddie dies, I'm gonna riot. You kill off Billy Burke in anything I ever watch him in, I'm gonna be ticked.
I might have to stop watching the show if they do those things.
Yes. I don't even know why I like Billy Burke so much, but I love it. I think he's so naturally funny. What about dislikes? Eve, let's start with you.
For me, I feel like it felt like they were trying to cram so many storylines in, almost like they were thinking, well, this might not live very long. We better cram as much as we can into this to keep people interested. But then what happened, which I liked, all the storylines they had were interesting, but there were too many of them to the point where they got to the end of the season and it was impossible to really wrap up really much of anything because there were so many storylines, they didn't have the time to really allow them to get too far.
Yep.
I agree with that completely.
But at least we're getting a season 2.
Yes.
So hopefully maybe with the next season, they can wrap up some of the stuff that they started and maybe have some less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll wrap up these, because like you said, all of these storylines, all those plot points we talked about, I'm fairly certain that they are all open-ended at this moment in time.
Yeah, I don't know what's
because I don't think we know what happens with Freddie's girlfriend and her and the baby, do we?
I don't think so.
No, because they let Freddie out, right?
Did you say they left him out?
I said, didn't they? Wasn't Freddie released?
Oh, is that why? Maybe that was part of the reason why Bodhi took the rap for everybody, so
He
Bodhi
did.
could get out.
So Freddie could get out to be with the baby.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. So Freddie,
least
that's
one
one
is-
of the reasons why. Yeah. So I mean, Freddie's out. I don't think Freddie's gone though. I
No.
doubt. But then again, I'm like, how do you
can't be
keep
gone
Freddie in
forever.
without arresting him again?
Well, because Freddie said that after this, it inspired him to want to be an actual firefighter.
Oh yeah, that's right. So he can join the actual.
And he
Okay.
wanted to join the Leones. And there was that one episode where they thought all the prisoners escaped during that drug thing, but it was just Matt. I gotta stop calling him Max. Bodhi took them somewhere else, right? And Freddie was a part of that. So he showed metal. And I think Sharon had said something about how when you get out, you come work for me or something like that to Freddie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I think that's at least one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any more dislikes, Eve? Before I go on my rant, I don't want to.
No, that was my big one.
Before I go on my rant, she has a list.
Oh, she always has a list. When Amanda doesn't like something, she has like lists of why.
I don't hate it. I really don't. There's just
Improvements that can be
things.
made.
One, first of all, Freddie would never have been released the exact same day. Call him BS. That bugged me because it just was too far off base. You don't get
Exact
released
same
the
day as
exact-
what?
His release was
Oh.
too quick. You know, I can't remember exactly how it is, but I remember my brain thing, and that wasn't real.
They pushed paperwork through real fast on that one.
Apparently, like, have you ever bailed somebody out of jail? Like, just in the county, it takes half of a day. I'm sorry, but if you're like in prison and all this kind of stuff, it's not going to take that long, that quick. Second of all, this whole drug test thing, like, there's so many ways to fight this. He had to go in the hospital, right? For after the mudslide thing to get checked out. Didn't they take a blood sample then? If he was on drugs, wouldn't that have come back negative? So they could have checked that CCTV footage.
I feel like
Did they not
yes.
check any of that?
Well, wasn't that the problem? The CCTV footage, something was doctored in the footage, wasn't there? Wasn't there something with the footage that it looked like
I don't
certain
remember
people were
that.
responsible? And that was
I
like
don't
Bodhi's
remember
like, there's no other way but for me to take the blame.
I just feel like there was a lot of other ways to get out of that.
I agree.
I just feel like it was completely done wrong. And if you're gonna make like that big of a thing in a TV show, at least like make it it doesn't have to be like word for word realistic, but to me that whole thing was just so far off base
I agree.
that it bothered me. Because I mean, this is Bodhi going back to prison.
Mm-hmm.
If he's going back to prison, I want a real good reason why.
Yes.
And I
Some
want it to
sort
be
of police
facts.
investigation into it other than, oh, okay.
The DA would have had to look into it. Like, there's just so much that bothered
Mhm.
me about this. And I think mainly that was because he went back to prison. So I was just
Yeah. Possibly.
I was just mad.
While you're thinking, I'm going to say something that bugged me.
Yep, go ahead.
That one new guy who came on, who was part of the plot points that I forgot until just a moment ago, where he actually was the arsonist.
Oh,
And they were just like, oh, sweet. We're not going to do any investigation into you at all. You're going to come on our team and we like you.
yeah.
And then he's
that
starting
was
all these
odd.
fires and no one's like figuring it out. Like,
I figured it out
understand
first.
that there's some sort of, there's irony in that the audience knows what's happening and maybe they don't, but you should investigate a little bit deeper into your people that are going to be saving people's lives.
That was insane to me too. Yeah,
I hated that guy. That guy I truly, truly hated.
Never liked him, not even a tiny bit.
No. And they also, another complaint I have about this is they took the character. Sharon has been so steady in defending Bodhi and saying, no, he has changed. He is different throughout the entire series, the entire season, up until the very last one, where he took the blame for something that clearly was not his responsibility. And she was suddenly, very suddenly, I can't believe Bodhi would do this. Like, you have been this consistent, constant character in defense of him, acknowledging that he's changed, seeing proof that he's changed. And because he admits something one time, you cannot see any other reason other than he must have done it.
Now, if she had gotten really upset and mad at him for taking the blame when she knew in her heart that he didn't do anything, that I would have appreciated.
Yes.
How could you do this? You know you didn't do anything. Like, don't do this. But no, she's just like, oh, okay.
I can't believe you did it. I think, honestly, I think our biggest I think we all agree on our biggest complaints that the numerous amounts of plots that were introduced into this 22 episode run, none of them were closed off except for maybe one or two. And there's like, we didn't even talk about all the plot points, just the biggest ones. So there's lot open-ended, a lot. And
like, I like every episode there being like some kind of different disaster. But if you're going to do that, you can't have 20 other side stories going at the same time. Because what happens is we start forgetting.
Exactly. And that's
the side stories. You got to cut out all the, emergencies every single episode.
Exactly.
You can't do that because this is why people want to watch the show.
I mean, there's been like 4 times in this episode that we are currently recording. We're like, oh yeah, this storyline. Oh yeah, this one. Like, and the problem with it, I think that we're having is that we come for the excitement of watching people do good work and saving lives and doing that aspect. We like the action, but with that, they add 17 plot points on top of the action and the disaster that are going on in one single episode. Like, it just, if you just did one per episode and you could hint at it throughout the season, fine. But you're adding too much into one episode and it's hard to focus on everything you want us to focus on, which could be why the acting didn't seem as great, because they are doing all these different things. So a lot of it
doesn't. Actors were confused.
Exactly. And it made characters. Maybe that's why we don't like Gabriella. Maybe that's what made her seem so back and forth, is because they had her running in 17 different directions. So she seemed wishy-washy and she seemed uncertain of everything she was doing.
Well, yeah, if you had 17 plot points, you'd be a little confused too.
So I think next year will be good. Overall grades, what would we give it? We'll go Eve, because you keep going over putting you first for everything. So let's go, Eve. What's your grade for this?
No, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a B-, because I definitely want to watch it again. I'm not gonna stop watching it, but I really just want them to try better for the next season.
I can agree with that.
That was exactly my grade too. For the same reason, like, I like it. I want to continue watching it, but it has a lot of room for improvement.
And I think I'm going to agree with both of you. I think I'm also going to give it a B-, because we always tend to grade on, will I watch it again? And I will watch it again, but only because I'm confused and I don't remember a lot. So I'm going to need to rewatch before season 2. Otherwise, I wouldn't rewatch it again. And we're going to give it grace because it's still, don't take that and think it's an awful show. It's not. It's a really good show. But if you look at season 1 of most of your shows, like season 1 of The Office, not my favorite. Is that one of my favorite shows? Hands down. I watched that repeatedly. So the first season, the pilot season of anything, is getting acclimated to the cast, to the show, to the surroundings. So I really think that given the second season, it will significantly improve, and then it will become one that I will rewatch.
It's
Yeah.
worth giving it a shot, we promise.
Yes, agreed.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be here talking about it.
Mhm. And a B-, not a bad grade. It's above average.
No,
Even worse.
Yes.
we've given worse.
I'm currently giving worse to One Tree Hill. So
Yeah, except that's wrong. So
no, I'm
You're
right.
wrong.
no,
Tiffany
you're
got me a cup that says
You're
sometimes
wrong.
people think I'm wrong, but not
not.
often.
Well, maybe we need to come up there and just take it away because you're wrong.
I'm gonna start drinking out of that cup for the One Tree Hill reviews.
That's all. That's all we're gonna do. I'm just gonna walk into your house without being announced and just grab your cup and walk out.
You're gonna pay for a flight up here, drive 2 hours, take the cup, and go right back home.
Yep.
It will have been worth it.
There's gonna be 4 of you for 1 cup.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tiffany won't come because she got it for me. So. Mhm.
I almost said something bad.
All right, so that's it for our review on Fire Country. Remember, it will be coming back for season 2. We suspect these shows will be coming back in September. Fire Country airs on CBS. Make sure you're tuning in for our One Tree Hill reviews. So I think we're doing every 2 weeks, except for over Christmas. We're getting you 2 Netflix ones in a row because we want to give you a holiday episode on Christmas Eve. We're going to be debuting a holiday episode. We're reviewing the holiday Netflix movies. We might do maybe we'll do a streaming Christmas movie from each platform. We don't know how that's going to work, but we are going to get you a holiday movie. So that will be 2 in a row. Other than that, you'll get the One Tree Hill reviews every 2 weeks. Will Trent is coming up. Why is that so hard for me to say? You're so not invited to my bat mitzvah and old dads. So the next episode you are going to get from us next week will be a One Tree Hill review on seasons 3 and 4 already. We're already in 3 and 4. So we're halfway through. Thank God. So I just want to see your guys' face. That's my favorite part about the reviews is watching your faces when I say something negative about it.
Are you ever gonna just give it a chance?
I am giving it a chance.
No,
I'm just not
you
being
have a
open with you
negative
about it.
mindset when you watch it.
So that's what's coming up for you next. Stay tuned for that next week. After that, there'll be a Will Trent one. Let us know what you think about Fire Country. Do you love it? Have you seen it? If you have not seen it, get to Paramount Plus or Amazon Prime and watch it before it comes out with season 2, because the season 2 is going to be so good and things are going to be tightened up and we'll find the solution to a lot of things that we're looking for. On that note, we will see you real soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Loving our content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to share our podcast with your family and friends. We want to continue the conversation with you. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under Fandom Family Chats, or one of our ever-growing Facebook groups by searching Family Fan Club. We've also launched a website, Family Fan Club 2021 at Wixsite.com. You can email us there and keep checking it for announcements and merch coming soon. And of course, be sure to tune in every week for new episodes discussing all your favorite shows.